3/4 of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. This will be taken in at the 1. Gets past one man. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. So here's the Charger offense making their way out. They'll be led out by their dual-threat quarterback out of TCU in Fort Worth, Texas. It's Trevon Boykin.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out by a few inches. That'll be a first down. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. Caught on the right side, Reed. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
So we've got a 2nd and 5.
Let's go!
Out of the gun, Boykin. And the Raiders have got him. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He was trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
So a 3rd and 10, and defensively, a dime look. 6 DBs.
Here we go!
From the shotgun, Boykin. And the pressure gets to him again. Mario Edwards in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
On now, Kaiser, the punter, sending it away. Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line. No return, but it goes down as just a punt of 31 yards. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. So here comes the Raiders offense now onto the field. And leading them out there, their 6'5" quarterback. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Can't get away, and he's taken down. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
It'll be a loss of a yard, and they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward, incomplete pass. He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. A 46-yard punt, 4-yard return. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. Heading back out, the Chargers offense. We get a peek at the playoff picture of the AFC. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position?
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
How about that? One of the so-called little guys putting the pressure on. That was a strong safety. When I was in college, we often called that a lightning blitz.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter one. On second down, they'll run with Gordon. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets them back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. Quickly now, the starting 11 for the Oakland defense.
Khalil Mack's been an all-pro for the last 2 years, but it only tells part of the story. In 2015, he was an all-pro at 2 different positions, defensive end and outside linebacker. And why? Because he's a hybrid. He can do anything you want. Rush the passer with his hand down, play with strength. He can also drop into coverage as an outside linebacker. I think he can cover tight ends and running backs with equal proficiency.
And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
Here's Drew Kaiser now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. It's just a 30-yard punt that time, no return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And on the first drive, 3 and out. I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him.
Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. Quarterback was hit.
Offense needs 11. Have to think pass here on 3rd down. They'll look to throw. Well, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
Here's Marquette King now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Fielded at the 20. We'll call that a 49-yard punt, but a net of just 39 following the 10-yard return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They'll start on the ground. This is Gordon on first down. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. They go play action with Boykin. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Raiders pick it up. And the Raiders are in for 6. Touchdown. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
Sebastian Janikowski on for the PAT. And that makes it 7-zip Oakland. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. This is fielded at the goal line. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. The Chargers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive, then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he brings it all the way in the other direction.
There's not much more I can add to that. I thought you summarized it perfectly, partner. You just got to regroup and start putting another drive together. That's all you can do.
A gain of 32 that time.
Trying to defend a drag route is really tough because you don't want to jump a route as shorter or underneath as the drag route is too quickly, because oftentimes they want to run that route and then hit over the top of you for bigger yardage. So if you can chip off the timing of the receiver off the line of scrimmage so he can't actually get into the route, that's the best way to defend it. But there was no possibility of that on that play. End result, the receiver won in a big way.
Looking to throw on second down. Stanton. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on.
Pass interference. Defense.
So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. It's the correct call.
Mike Williams, the intended target, and that'll bring up second down.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. Stanton looking middle, and it's incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete. A dime look defensively for the Raiders on third down.
Yeah, you're right. 2 extra DBs out there.
Let's go!
From the gun, Stanton. And incomplete. A disappointing drop there defensively by the rookie. And now fourth down.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on third down to bring up fourth. The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on fourth.
Set! Green, 39!
Now Stanton. And that is incomplete, but there is a flag. And on 4th down, this is a big call.
Illegal touching. Offense.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
They just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
And before they can get settled in here, time expires on the first quarter of action. 7-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this. Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Raiders in possession of the football, but they face a 2nd and long to start things out. They're going to look to throw. And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
And he's going to be taken down right at about the 15-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down.
But once again, a good example of situational football. That was 3rd and very long, so you know they were guarding against the pass. And when they decided to run the ball, that was okay. Whatever yardage they picked up, as long as they didn't get to the 1st down marker, the defense was willing to concede, and they stopped them well short of a 1st down.
That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Now Gordon on 1st down. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he tries to power forward, but he will not get back to the line of scrimmage.
After a play like that, there should be congratulations all the way around, I think, because if you can stop a big fullback like that, that's not easily done.
Yeah, he does not go down easily. You're right, but he did there. Here's Drew Kaiser now as he's on to punt for L.A. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. Now the Raiders offense, they get set to head back on the field.
I would say they went 3 and out last time, but actually they didn't even get to 3 and out. Still a strange decision to us here in the booth.
Yeah, let's hope they don't go 1 and out, but maybe, possibly, let's try and think with them here. Try and put field position maybe, turn the ball over, put it in the hands of their defense. Who knows?
You're a nice man.
And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Green 39.
They'll look to throw here. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call.
Holding offense.
Well, your QB's been sacked 4 times in the game already, and they're the holding call.
And you know darn well the offensive line coach is frustrated and upset that he's been hit that many times already. He doesn't really care that they hold now. Just don't let him get hit anymore.
The Raiders on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be a tough 3rd and 18.
Here we go. Over.
Looking to throw. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line. It's a sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Marquette King now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And the Chargers will be set up pretty well as they take over in great field position. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now.
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Now the handoff comes to Gordon. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I'll bet the offensive lineman said, "Are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down." They love being physical.
Here we go. 319. 319.
They go back to Gordon here on first down. They'll get it to the 23-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
But no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
To throw on 2nd down, Stanton. And it's incomplete. The Chargers on 3rd down, not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
Looking to throw. Stanton under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Mario Edwards in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
On is Nick Novak now to try the field goal. And this one a 41-yard attempt. And the 13-year man puts it through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So he splits the uprights there, and I would imagine it's nice as a kicker. Right when it leaves your foot, you know it's good.
Yeah, it's kind of like a golfer that picks up his tee after a nice drive without even watching it land.
Solid analogy. I like it. The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he was able to hold on to the football.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down. A play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's third down. Now back to throw. And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Here's Marquette King now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Fielded at the 43. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Now a 10th carry for Melvin Gordon. And they'll get him down here at about the 42. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2.
First play of the drive. Let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking. But the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Looking to throw on second down. Stanton. And some room to roam now. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Charger first. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Southern California after this. A reminder coming up at halftime. Larry Ridley will join us from Orlando with our halftime report, but business to take care of before that. Throwing on first down. Stanton. And Davis has it over the middle. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
To throw on second down. Stanton firing quickly here, and that's complete. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
red zone now. They'll look to throw. And his throw is incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Back to the air on second down. Stanton. This will be caught just inside the 10. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. First and goal. Defense with their backs against the wall.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll look to throw again. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. Second down.
I know every offense wants to start their snaps closer to the goal line, but it's actually harder to throw the ball in those situations. You throw into that tight coverage, you see what happens. Hard to get the ball in there.
Not enough space there. Lucky maybe that it wasn't intercepted.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green.
Looking to throw on second down. Stanton. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. And before they can run this third down play, we're going to get a timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. And this offense on third down today, a pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is third and goal.
Hurry up. Here we go. 3-19.
Operating from the gun, Stanton. And that is incomplete.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. This is a 26-yard attempt. And Novak's kick is good. And they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. So the drive takes them inside the 10, but it ends with just 3.
And a nice job defensively to rise up and make sure they didn't get in.
Following a field goal on is the punter, Drew Kaiser, to kick it off. On the return, here's the dangerous Cordero Patterson. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field.
And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Cordero Patterson, the one he was hoping to get it to. That'll bring up second down. So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. Second down and 10.
Here we go now. Blue 90.
Back to throw here. And that is incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
The Raiders on third down, a pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green.
Back to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward.
So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Here's Marquette King now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And now a high kick here as they'll try to cover this one. And the Raiders pick it up. And maybe getting a little too cute there on the punt return. Sometimes they forget paramount holding on to that football.
I really do believe most of the return guys think to themselves, when I get the ball, I'm going to make the play that's going to change the game.
I'm going to break it.
I'm going to break it. And you love that they have that attitude, but your point is so well taken. What do you have to do? First and foremost,
hold on to it.
Take care of the football. That's all he needed to do.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Campbell. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. A big play there as the first half is winding down. And the Raiders add on to their lead.
And that lead is now 7 with a chance to go to 8 or more if they want to get crazy here, which we don't expect. But I just know the way the game's being played with the analytics, there's going to be a lot more of going for 2 in a lot of situations, isn't there?
Yeah, there's going to be. And I think their focus here, they don't want to give up anything going into the lockers on the other, and just a little bit of time left on the clock.
Yeah, they don't want to do anything to erase the good feeling they have right now by getting this late score in the half.
And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Short boot, take it at the 21. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30.
Let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
On first down, Stanton. And down he goes. Brought down a Raiders sack. Marquell Lee, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. So we've reached halftime with the visiting Raiders out in front.
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to the EA Halftime Report. Let's take a look back at the first half. The Chargers right now have a time of possession advantage, but it has not led them to taking control of this game. The Raiders, though, are still right in this game and will certainly be looking for a way to pull this one out in the second half. All right, let's get straight to it. Here's some highlights from the first half. Late in the first quarter, defense will get to the quarterback here. This ends up as a loss of 9. It's a late in the first. The ball will pop out here on the run. Raiders end up picking up the ball and scoring as they take a 7-0 lead. Final moments of the first half. The pass out of the gun will be completed. And he's gone as he sprints to the end zone. Raiders go up by 8. Now 1st and 10. Lee's got to take down the QB here. This ends up as a loss of 9. That'll do it for us here at EA Sports Studios. Let's get back out to Brandon and Charles for the call of the second half. Brandon.
It's a short kick taken near the 18. And he'll be knocked down sideways at the 32-yard line. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
See if they do just that. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does, where a quarterback has to slide and find open space to throw.
He'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession. The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Marquette King now, as he's on to punt for Oakland. Fielded at about the 28. 47-yard punt, a return of 4. Now a look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%. They keep it on the ground. Again, Gordon. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Charger first down.
Second and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down, keep the sticks moving.
From the midfield strike, they'll look to throw. And the Raiders have got him.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
To throw on second down. Stanton throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
The Chargers on third down, they're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 17. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And an alley to run. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. A big play on the ground there. It goes for 36 yards.
Our eyes and attention are on the fullback. Big-time carry, big yardage. But how about the guys up front, the offensive line? A lot of people think they may have to block it differently for the fullback to get big yardage. They really don't. Because he's big, strong, and powerful, a lot of times he makes his own way. They may not have to block as hard.
So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs. Now a handoff. This is Gordon. And he is hit pretty hard from the side as he's knocked down. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
They run it here with Gordon. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves to James.
I know flashy plays, splashy plays, as people like to call them, that attracts a lot of attention. But let's face it, when you're efficient, that can control a ball game. And I love the game plan they've got going right now.
Back-to-back 5-yard gains. Didn't force the ball downfield. Picked it up on the ground.
Yeah, offensive line, they're getting it done.
Gordon. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Melvin Gordon, his first touchdown on the year. And the Chargers are within a 2-point conversion of tying this game. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range but couldn't quite finish it off. This time they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
They made the decision to go for 2. They didn't get it. They remained down by 2 points. Should they have kicked it there?
A third quarter, I'm okay with it. Maybe first or second, you don't. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, again, I keep coming back to, I don't like to chase a lot of points.
Yeah.
But I also don't know what kicking an extra point being down 1 does for me.
Now that should give his guys a spark. He's up all the way to the 44-yard line.
Any return that gets you to midfield is a great return. 1 first down, you're almost in field goal position.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
The Raiders on third down, as bad as you can be. 0 for 7 thus far. This is third down and 12. They'll run it now out of the gun. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And it'll be fourth down. Here's Marquette King now as he's on to punt for Oakland. And now a high kick trying to pin him back. And he'll get credit for putting him inside the 20 as the fair catch is made right at about the 19-yard line. Here now a look at Melvin Gordon. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone. And now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage. And, again, that second score here in the third quarter.
I think there's one element that just keeps increasing on defense in the NFL, and that's speed. They want it at every position, and we just saw there some linebackers who can go sideline to sideline, run past that trash, go past people, and make tackles near the sidelines.
Not only near the sideline, but also in the backfield there for the loss.
Let's go! Blue line it! Blue line!
Another tote for Gordon. He's been busy this afternoon. Limited running room as he'll get about 3 to the 21.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
The Chargers on third down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. From the gun, Stanton. He's going to float this one deep right side. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now. Well, they haven't had a whole lot of success in the passing game here. Now, in the second half, he's thinking, I guess maybe just take a shot deep.
I think you're right. Almost looking for a bailout, isn't he? Can my receiver go up and make a big play for me? Can I create a penalty downfield, maybe pick up an interference call and get that yardage downfield? Anything trying to get going again, but you're right. He definitely took a shot.
On now, Kaiser, the punter, sending it away. And he'll take it just outside the 40. 35 yards that time on the punt. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. They'll drop the throw. Brought in by Walford, right side. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. And he'll give it here to his running back. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. It'll be a gain of 11. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
Look, the first down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it, and boy, the reward was there. A big, big pickup, and guess what? It's now 3rd and very short in order to try and pick up a 1st down.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And brought down, but not before he was able to break the tackle, and the extra effort moves the sticks. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
And a new set of downs here after picking up the 1st on the ground. Now they'll run on the draw. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. That one good for 13 and a Raider 1st down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. Back now at the StubHub Center in Carson. It's been a good one so far. Just a 2-point game here as we get set for quarter number 4. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Here we go now. Green.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Going to throw deep for the end zone. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now third down.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
They'll set up a throw. And he fires one, but incomplete. And here's a big one now. Try to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on fourth down.
Let's go. 3-19.
He'll look to throw. And able to catch it, but he's out of bounds. Now the throw took him beyond the sideline, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. Boy, you talk about not playing it safe. Why were they going for it there, Charles?
It's got to be a full evaluation of their team. Do they trust their defense in this situation? Maybe they think they've given all they can in this game and they don't have anything left. Do they not trust that the other team's quarterback is just so hot that no matter where they get the ball, they go downfield? Remember when Bill Belichick went for it in that game, right, against Indianapolis on the road? And everybody said, why'd you go for it there? I think he just thought to himself, on the other side, if they get the ball, they're going downfield anyway. He was trying to end the game right there with his own offense.
Now a play fake here on first down. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 29. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on fourth, turned it over in their own territory, but the other guys held up. They didn't give up any points.
So how about the guy with the #1 headset on the sidelines, the head coach? That was planned going into it, not necessarily to not get the first down or to have the defense have to hold
But he
up.
trusted his defense.
Trusted his defense very much, and I think that's how he's going to play this game. Go for it, be aggressive, because I've got the wild bunch backing me up over here on my own sideline.
Now we'll see what his offense can do. And they give this time to the tailback. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see.
It looked like they had something there, but I think that he was thinking about running with the football before he actually hauled it.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Cordero Patterson, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Raiders take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash this one in. Wow, talk about a big 4th down conversion for the score. Defensively, how do you let that happen?
I think you start with the offense, and you give them credit for going for it and having that type of, well, let's face it, audacity. But defensively, I think you're right on target, partner. There's no way something like that's supposed to happen in that situation. You're supposed to be able to shut that down and get the ball back for your own team. Instead, they give up not just a big play, but a touchdown.
It's a very short kick, taken right at the 20. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And last time, 1-play interception, so this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it, and I can't wait to see what they decide.
And down he goes, brought down a Raiders sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Offense needs something here on second down. It is second and long.
Here we go now. 3-19.
Operating from the gun. Stanton. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
All right, here we go. Green.
To throw on third down. Stanton. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Drew Kaiser now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Now a high kick, almost a pooch punt. It's taken to the 26. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Raiders will take over now, 1st and 10. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know that makes some adjustments.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. Give them 12 yards that time and an Oakland first down. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Now a handoff here to his running back. A broken tackle there, but not a ton to show for it. Tackled just on the other side of midfield. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Well, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
A bullet throw, but incomplete. Here's Marquette King now as he's on to punt for Oakland. And now a high kick here as he'll try to hang it up there. And this one will be touchdown inside the 40-yard line. Melvin Gordon now, he and the offense, they trot back out there. And in the early going, the running game, as we see the numbers, it just wasn't on point. Well, now it's gotten more true to form.
And sometimes it takes a little while for an offensive line to get in sync. Because early in the game, defenses throw different patterns at you, different formations, different sets. And you might not block them quite the way you want to. But as you start to get into a groove and you figure out what they're doing, now it all comes together. And that's what we're seeing right now.
4 yards remaining now on second down.
Hey, cut in right. Cut in. All right, here we go.
From the gun, Stanton throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game. Back to throw, Stanton. And the Raiders have got him. Mario Edwards in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on fourth down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. They find some open field here. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. The fourth down play doesn't work for the Chargers. And the Raiders with the football now in excellent field position. So still over 3 minutes remaining in this game, but boy, not getting that when that hurt.
That's a little bit demoralizing, so they have to be careful about that because still have an opportunity if they can get some things done on defense. But now, since they've taken over on downs, a team with the ball, guess what? Going to 4-minute offense, maybe they can put this thing away.
You can really tell right now both sides have amped up the aggressiveness. That time the offense winning the aggression battle.
And the defense was obviously aiming for the football, maybe a little bit more so than the runner himself, and that's why he was able to break through and get the gain that he did.
And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
And now on third down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And now on third down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. Gonna give this time to the tailback. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Here's Marquette King now as he's on to punt for Oakland. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on fourth, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say maybe makes that offense feel good, but when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
Let's go! Green 39!
To throw again, Stanton. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Davis. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 12 yards there. The Chargers have a first down. On 1st and 10, Stanton. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Throwing on first down. Stanton. And shedding through the tackle. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. So the incomplete pass brings up second down. Throwing again. Stanton. No, he almost had it. Already with one interception, just missing his second there. I guess they're in a situation now, fourth quarter, where they're forced to take some chances, but I don't know that that was the type of a chance you want to take.
And that one could very easily have been intercepted, and if it does get picked off, that could possibly seal this one.
The Chargers on third down, not getting the job done at all. A very poor 1 for 10. This is 3rd and 10. Looking to throw. Stanton. And now another one thrown incomplete. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Let's go! Blue line.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and that's going to be just about all she wrote for this one. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. Getting down to the end here, they have a 2-score lead. Barely, but it's a 2-score lead, so that probably makes you as a coach feel a lot more comfortable right now, doesn't it, Charles?
It does, but it doesn't mean now you go out and run option or some kind of a wild double reverse or anything like that. But you do know that if anything does go haywire, you're still in control of this game.
I want a double reverse, don't you?
I'm just waiting for that day where we actually see something like that in this situation.
We'll see what happens here. Eight yards to go here on 2nd down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. The Raiders likely going to get out of this with a victory as they take a knee. Here's Marquette King now as he's on to punt for Oakland. And this one's high, but not very far. So a change of possession here on the punt. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit triple zeros. One final shot. They'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. Well, partner, even though my phone alarm failed me this morning and I missed our AM workout, we still made it through this thing together, didn't we?